video, I want to show you how you can use the StockPenguins AI chat to basically get some ideas, idea generation, and also to check financial metrics of any queries that you have, right? So the standard chat GPT is not built for finance. It doesn't have the most reliable financial data. It cannot build charts and stuff like that. And that's basically where StockPenguins comes in. And it's a reliable tool where you can basically come in, find information that you need, and do it without actually having to dissect data, right? You can talk in natural language processing, and you're able to get answers that you basically need, right? And it's based 100% on information that is coming straight from the company, from the annual reports and stuff like that. All right. So our API is basically pulling data from the annual reports so that you know that it's 100% accurate as well. All right. So you can ask financial questions. You can ask about portfolio management. You can ask about risk. You can ask about metrics and stuff. And I'm going to show you an examples of different things, right? So you are an analyst at a fund, or you're just a retail investor, for example. You just want to do some research, right? Yeah. And that's where you come in for StockPenguins. So you can come up here, register for an account. And you can choose between speed and deep research, right? So the reason why that we've created this such that there are two different modes is that for speed, it's really much about you just want a quick answer, right? You're not really doing like deep research. You're just trying to get a sense of the market, or possibly you don't have enough time. All right. Deep research, some of the queries, sometimes it may take about maybe like 30 seconds to even like 2 minutes to think about it, right? To really think about your answer, and so that it can give you the best possible query, best possible answer based on your question. All right, so I'm going to show you both right now, but I'll give you an example of, imagine you are an equity analyst at a fund, at a bank, or you're just doing some research for yourself. All right, so right now the Trump tariffs are happening, right? So what kind of questions could you potentially ask, right? You could potentially ask, for example, in a recessionary time, which stocks are actually resilient? And then I'm going to give some context about my portfolio, for example, right? So, for example, I have a lot of mega cap, big tech names in my portfolio. If the Trump tariffs continue further with China, how will the earnings of companies like Apple and Amazon that I hold be affected? All right, so this is a bit more context. So I'm not going to go for speed. I'm going to go for deep research right here. And let's see what the tool can give us, right? So it takes a bit of time for it to process your query, because it needs to take information here, takes your question, gives it context, analyzes that context, and then takes data from the API and tries to pull selective data based on what you're actually asking. All right, so you can see a loading time. Just give it a bit of time because it's trying to process your query. And generally, what we are trying to tweak our AI model is to be to give you a balanced view, a balanced objective, right? We're not trying to bias you in any way because you're asking the question. We're just trying to give factual data and suggestions, right? That's really what we want to see, right? So the quality of the answer matters, and like we try to give as much information as possible, especially if you're doing deep research. All right, this will generally give you a more detailed out response right here. All right, so you can see, for example, I'll analyze the resilience. Let me find the financial metrics, and then they go and find, because I asked about Amazon and Apple as well, right? So for example, Apple tariff vulnerability very high because they produce a lot of chips. They produce the iPhones in China, right? Amazon is moderate, but multi-country sourcing. So let's see here. The revenue growth, okay, the cash position of both companies very strong, business model, hardware, stuff like that. And then it gives more context right here. So Apple's position is that, okay, manufacturing concentration. So as I said just now, a lot of factories are in China. So there is a very high exposure to China. For Amazon, it's more diversified, multiple revenue streams. So it's not 100% reliant on China. Shows fundamental, Okay, and then it gives risk factors and stuff like that. All right. So now with this query, for example, you're trying to do additional research based on that, right? So let's actually ask, how is Amazon's revenue actually related to China? How does the tariff correlate, and how will it negatively affect Amazon's revenue? Right, so just give it time once again. And the question that I'm asking here is basically, I do understand that Amazon may be affected, but I'm really understanding why, which revenue is actually coming from China. Like why does it have to be affected, basically, right? So I just want to give it more context in that, and so that the AI can also analyze my request right here, right? So let's just give it some time, and then let's see what it has come as well. Okay, so it has broken down Amazon's actual exposure to China and the tariff impact. Okay, so the revenue structure, online source. Okay, so China is high here, and the rest of Amazon's business is basically low. In North America, yeah. Direct revenue, China focus on sourcing, not sales. Minimal direct revenue. Third-party sellers sourcing from China. Yeah, okay. So basically, what they're saying here is that there are a bunch of third-party sellers that are sourcing from China, which sell their products on Amazon. Yeah, and that basically affects it, right? Because if they have less products to sell, Amazon can basically sell less advertising, less third-party services right here as well. Yeah, or online store basically, right? Yeah. Okay, and so you can see here, like you can take one query, and what you want to do is you really want to drill down what you want to research on and continuously ask questions about that specific topic, and then the AI can basically help you give a very targeted response based on that, right? So negative revenue impact, third-party sellers raising the price or leaving the platform, less Prime Day stuff, lower commissions that Amazon can collect, decreased spending because higher prices from the tariffs on the products. Yep, so a bunch of stuff here, right? Potential revenue impact, so how much decrease in revenue should Amazon see and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can see here with a very, very simple example, right? Just by having two prompts, I get a bunch of data, and then I have financial data to back up exactly what I want to see as well. All right. Another really cool thing that the AI model can do, let me show you. So for example, it's like, give me a graph and a table of what Amazon's free cash flow looks like in the past 5 years. All right. So most of the time, I believe standard chat models, they can't really do graphing, but we've tweaked our AI model such that you're able to actually see a graph directly in the chat itself. All right. So you can see here, I've asked it in the past 5 years of free cash flow. So it's given me a table right here that I can potentially use. I can just copy this information. And at the same time, they've given me a graph, right? So in this graph right here, you can see the 5-year, the 10-year. Okay. And I can even change the metrics, right? If I want to look at different things, free cash flow on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis, for example, and I can basically see and plot graphs, right? If I'm interested in this, I can just export this graph as well. All right. I can change the background color over here. Image size, I'm going to keep it as 4x, and I'm going to download the PNG for you, right? So you're able to export these types of graphs right here. Very, very simple, such that you're able to actually visualize what you want to see as well. All right, and this is coming directly from the AI model. All right, so if you're interested, this is what deep research is about. I think deep research, you have to give the model a bit of time because it takes time to inference takes time, and then the AI model needs to think about your answer and stuff like that. But generally, it gives a very quality response based on what you ask. So obviously, if you're doing prompting, you need to really, really give more data so that the AI model can basically come back to you with better information at the same time. All right. So you can see here within these 3 prompts, I've showed you different types of prompts that you can deal with, and hopefully, this is useful for you. All right. Let me show you what speed is. So speed is generally it should be a much faster model that we use, and it should be able to give you snappier answers, but also shorter answers at the same time. All right. So let's talk about let's just talk about Apple right now. Okay. So let's talk about, can you explain to me whether the iPad business in Apple is doing well? What are the headwinds, and how fast is the business growing? All right, so I'm giving a very, very specific question in a specific company. right? So it should be able to process this quite easily. All right, and because we're on the speed mode right here, technically it should be faster, technically. All right. Okay, so let's just see how it processes this question right here. Right, so you can see the AI is clearly understanding that we're talking about the iPad business. And I talked about how fast the business is growing. So immediately they're trying to fetch revenue data, right? They're trying to get revenue data by product segment because the iPad is sitting within the Apple ecosystem, right? So you can see over here, iPad revenue, performance, etc. And then, yeah, they talk about the iPad business and stuff like that. Identify headwinds, overall assessment, and stuff like that. Hopefully this gives you a perspective on what the AI chat will do. We are going to continuously improve this product over time. But yeah, if you want to try this out for yourself, head over to StockPenguins.com and sign up for a free trial, etc. And yeah, if you have any suggestions on how we can improve this in the process so that you can improve your equity research process at the same time, do let us know. We're going to open up a feedback channel as well, maybe in one of the tabs here, and then you can provide us your feedback. But once again, yeah, you can check it out, try it out for yourself, get a free trial, and thank you so much.